podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
No question with that.
Ed,
Yo.
good evening.
Is it though?
It's,
Is it a good evening?
I mean,
I don't know because I haven't been outside in weeks.
I'm looking outside the window and there's like nice little fluffy clouds in the sky. That's always nice, isn't it?
We like fluffy clouds.
Yeah, we do indeed. We also like the 2016 FA Cup semi-final between Everton and Manchester United. So I watched this game earlier today before I started work. About 11:30 a.m. this morning, my Louis van Gaal revisionism levels were dangerously high. Dangerously high levels.
No.
I almost needed to watch Manchester United 1 Norwich 2 from Christmas that year.
Just to counterbalance. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I was kind of a bit suspicious about us doing a nostalgia show about a game that was less than 4 years old. You know,
More than 4 years. 4 years and like
it's
2
April
weeks.
23rd. Yes, 4 years and 2 weeks. Yeah. All right, but yeah, I did kind of enjoy this one. It was actually a much better game than I remembered. I somehow had it in my head that it wasn't a great game, and Martial scored late to win it for United, but it was entertaining.
It's a fantastic game of football. It's the very antithesis of what you think when you think Van Gaal's Man United. But like structurally, tactically, this is what you could have won. If Louis van Gaal had better taste in players and was not quite so personally round the twist when it came to man management, this is definitely what you could have won, especially if you'd played the Everton back four that turned up in that first half in particular every week, because that was significantly to our advantage.
Yes.
So let's
So we, there is definitely some context in United's performance because it was against a pretty rubbish Everton side that was like on the downswing. Did Roberto Martinez leave that summer afterwards? Did he get another season? I can't remember now.
I can't imagine they would have given him too much longer, given the state of things during this game and around this game. I mean, they really needed to win it. And Danny Murphy, who is not a good co-commentator in any by any stretch of the imagination, but he kind of says, well, at least they've proved that they care with this second half. So that's the kind of doldrums that they were in.
And United at this stage, late April, still theoretically fighting for a place in the Champions League. Of course, it wouldn't happen. And Louis gets sacked on the way up to lift the FA Cup at Wembley in a few weeks after this. But it was the United side still theoretically going for it. They'd finished in Champions in fourth place the year before, would end up finishing fifth. Feels like a step back, but there's still like the start of something, wasn't there? And you see a lot of it in this game, the movement of Martial, Rashford and Lingard. The youngster Lingard, who was sort of buzzing around the place and played all right in this game. But that wasn't really the story of the sort of the selection, was it? Which was pretty interesting. Wayne Rooney coming back from injury and selected in central midfield alongside Michael Carrick with Marouane Fellaini at, sort of number 10, sort of up front. Weird position.
It's a classic Louis van Gaal 4-1-2-2-1. That's the formation. It is. So, first of all, just a quick mention for the G-bomb. Darren Gibson is in midfield for Everton and Tom Cleverley starts on the right with future United Hall of Famer Romelu Lukaku up front.
Who's awful in this game, by the way.
His first
this was
touch
the
in this
evidence.
game.
Yeah, his God, just two massive, heavy first touches in great positions for Lukaku in this game. And I'm like, I've seen that somewhere before.
I think it was Carl Anker who I saw the retweet. I don't know who originally tweeted it, but it was from his account that I saw the retweet of Lukaku looks like he plays in jeans. And this was a classic Lukaku playing in jeans game. So they're in the Everton side. The United side, De Gea in goal, Timothy Fosu-Mensah at right back does not have a very good game. Not as bad as he was in the FA Cup final, but not great. Blint and Smalling at centre back. One of them has a very good game, the other one not so much. Rocco at left back. And then you've got Carricks holding midfield, Rooney ahead of him on the left and Fellaini ahead of him on the right as 2 number 8s. You've got Martial and Lingard on either flank and Rashford up top through the middle. It's your classic Louis van Gaal 4-3-3 with lots of diamonds and triangles and stuff.
Yeah. Sort of, yeah. Rashford spends a lot of time sort of out on the right wing, doesn't he? And Fellaini's this kind of sort of false nine, false player.
No, I mean, he doesn't. He has not a bad game either.
Not a bad game. Rooney has a very good game for it. Plays under zero pressure the entire game. Murphy goes on about whether he's got the legs to play in midfield, especially coming back after the injury, and he's put under no pressure at all. And he has especially in the first half, he's like spraying the ball around and Carrick alongside him. It's like kind of slow and slower in the central midfield there for United, but it works okay. And of course, Martial's the star of this game. I mean, poor Mohamed Besic sort of recovers after half time, but absolutely annihilated by Martial in that first half, just brutalised.
That's one of the things that I suddenly did remember, like looking up the numbers of times that Martial had beaten Besic. I didn't look it up again, but from memory, it was 9. I think he had 9 successful take-ons in this game. That is such a high number of successful take-ons in a game. You never see that.
Call the police, it's a crime happening. I mean, poor guy, yeah. Not since that poor guy from, who was it? Midtjylland.
Yeah,
who
which was
needed to retire at half-time.
Only a few weeks before this, that was. So Blind is almost caught immediately from kick-off, put under pressure, but actually stays quite cool. And then immediately, something we haven't seen since Van Gaal retired, I mean, did he retire? Since he was sacked, they immediately start passing it around. They're immediately kind of probing and looking for stuff, and just so different to how they've played at any point since then. And, you know, I will come to this at the end of the game, I guess. There's definitely, it's hard not to watch this game and think, actually, did we really sacking Van Gaal and bringing in Mourinho at that point? Was it really the smart move? Anyway, we'll talk about that.
I don't know. I mean, if it was sacking Van Gaal and bringing in Pochettino, would we have felt differently about that? Or Klopp? I mean, it couldn't have happened at that juncture, but at a different juncture, or someone else maybe. It's the transition to Mourinho that makes us doubt that one. I mean, what we can't doubt is that the last 6 months of Van Gaal ball was pretty awful most of the time. Yeah, here they are probing, and this is the best of United under Van Gaal, where they do try and move the ball quickly, where there is pace, where there is some creativity. But for a lot of Van Gaal's time at United, it was not that at all.
Absolutely. No, like I said, my revisionism levels are dangerously high, but I am aware that it's revisionism. I mean, one of the reasons this works so well, like you said, is the midfield is under absolutely no pressure, which they kind of need to be because of their age and legs by this point. And you've got this unbelievable amount of creativity up front. There's Martial having the game of his life. You know, I mean, the freedom of Wembley because Besic is just not a right back. But also Rashford and Lingard. Like, Jesse Lingard looks much, you joked about him being a youngster because obviously he was called, I think at one point him and Rashford are referred to as the youngsters as if they're peers and not like 5 years apart or maybe even more than that. But he looks younger, he looks skinnier, he looks like a different player, basically, Lingard does in this game. And him and Rashford link up absolutely brilliantly around the area. There's a couple, there's one moment, like not that long into the game, which is stunning into play, like the flick from Rashford behind his legs back to Lingard, and then he slightly overhits his close control. But
yeah, it's very exciting from the three of them, and of course that's what helps bring the sense of revisionism. What could have been if Louis, if Van Gaal had gotten Paul Pogba and not left, and brought Paul Pogba in, could he have done something more with that side? Right, of course, Mourinho completely reverted the side very quickly. Did very very successful in his first season, basically, Mourinho, when he came in, but the style of play changed. And as you say, this period when we're talking about now is the last time United played any possession football. Basically, I mean, there have of course been games where United have had a lot of possession, but it's not by design or structure.
They don't have a lot of possession in this game. Really, they only have 53% of the possession by the end of the game. So they are playing possession football, like you say. So let's talk about a few of the incidents. Right from the off, Martial cuts inside and out before Stones gets like a good foot in to concede the corner, but then. From that corner, Fellaini gets a little soft header on target, and then Robles launches it to Lukaku, who just easily shrugs Fosu Mensah off. And then I just put really classic bad Lukaku touch. Makes it too wide.
Yeah, it's that. It reminds me of that video of Gaza, the prankster Gaza. He goes down to catch the football and kicks it with his wrong foot, and he goes to get the football and kicks it with his wrong foot. That's Lukaku's first touch, and it's just, I mean, he bullies Fosu Mensah. That's the best of Lukaku. He makes the chance himself, and then he takes around De Gea, and it's too heavy, and he's not really under control. And Wayne Rooney comes in with a headed clearance.
Yeah,
the libero Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
Defending, spraying the ball around, playing midfield. I mean, it was a foretaste of Rooney, the Derby years.
Exactly, yeah. Rooney, number 7 in the fans' vote for best players in the lower leagues in recent issue of 442 magazine, which, considering he's only been there 5 minutes, is not bad going. Martial does absolutely amazingly to keep a long pass in right on the edge of the touchline, and is then clattered with a massive body check that Danny Murphy says, "Whoa, not a foul!" And then, as it's one of those where the co-commentator goes early, says not a foul, then the replay shows the massive body check, and the co-commentator doesn't back down from his original position, which is always frustrating. Rooney fires in a pretty good
nice whipped in free kick. Yeah,
Rocco gets a head on it, goes wide.
Rocco doesn't do a single psychotic thing in this entire game. It didn't take a single person out by the knees. Not one point did Fellaini get his pointy elbows out and take someone's eye socket out.
Rocco doesn't shoot from 40 yards at any point. Did he even play? Did he even play in this game? It's a long way.
First 15 minutes, United were good. Completely on top. I mean, of course, Lukaku had 2 chances. The other one where he takes a heavy touch it's from the other side, and it takes him really wide, and De Gea saves with his feet. I mean, you could say classic Dave save, but he's always going to save that one, yeah. But United completely on top the first 15 minutes. I think it's something like 5 shots on target in the first 15 minutes for United. I mean, there are 30-odd shots in the whole game, but it's complete domination.
The 2 best bits, I reckon, of that domination is that interplay that I talked about between Lingard and Rashford, where Rashford just goes slightly wide. And then Rooney, an absolutely stunning ball over the top for Jesse Lingard, who shoots, and Robles smothers it. But it's like a defence-splitting, lofted through ball. It's like something off Pez. It's really amazing.
Yeah, spraying it around. And then it quiets down for 15 minutes, I suppose. The next 15 are not quite as exploding full of chances. But United still completely on top. And then I guess after about half an hour, we see Rooney's first strike. A lovely turn. And then kind of soft with the left. Perhaps his first burst forward. And you're thinking United have missed a good chance there. Only for Marouane to come up at the back post with a storming header. No, wait, no. What is this? It's a fox in the box tap-in.
Marcus Rashford gets the ball. Like 18-year-old Marcus Rashford gets the ball, does really well to hold it up, beats a man, then realises he's going to run into trouble. Instead of doing something silly, just makes the simple pass outside to Martial, which effectively ends the forward momentum of the movement, but allows allows possession to be recycled. United is very classic Van Gaal. Martial does absolutely amazing down the left, skins the fullback, leaves him for dead, cuts back. Fellaini scuffs the finish home. Does he celebrate by acknowledging the contribution of these two literal children that have provided him this moment? No, he gives it all the pointing at his own name on the back of his shirt for his scuffed finish. Disgraceful behaviour.
I mean, he's missed the goal by so much that he's bounced it into the ground, and that's the thing that's scored for him. It's a dreadful finish, but it goes in. So top work, Marouane.
I mean, I get that he would have probably been very pleased to score and probably very frustrated with the way that he's generally talked about, and also was very in and out of the side this season, didn't play a lot for United this season. So, he's got a big point to prove. But the lack of acknowledgement of the assists proper wound me up for this goal.
I didn't think Rashford did that well anyway. I knew he was no good then. Trashford, I called him after this game, honest.
That kid was so good. I mean, I remembered him being absolutely brilliant, and then I remembered that was actually the final, where until he got injured, he was electric. But he's really good in this game in a slightly more low-key role, with Martial in the starring role. But yeah, Martial then fully skins Besic on the flank, but right by our own corner flag. So he's doing it at both ends of the pitch at this point.
And then anything else happened before half time?
There's a good cross from Rashford, good cross from Martial, which Rashford slips before getting the strike on, and then this was then that might have been the second half, actually, beginning of the second half.
Yeah, so top from United in the first half, completely deserving to go in 1-0 up. Everton extremely poor, couldn't have been worse, really.
Defensively, so
absolutely
bad.
Horrible. But even up front, not doing much apart from two chances Lukaku basically created for himself. So it couldn't have gone much worse. And they do come out, to be fair, after half-time, a bit brighter. They're pushing forward, aren't they? Noticeably higher up the pitch.
Yeah.
And trying to get back into the game.
Just less passive, right? I think either the commentator or Danny Murphy mentioned that, and it was absolutely right. And I remembered them kind of being back in it from the off in this game, but they really weren't. They're not. It's not until they get a penalty. We have a bunch of chances before that. There's that cross from Martial, which Rashford slips. There's an absolutely phenomenally worked opening between Fosu Mensah, Rashford and Martial, which Lingard shanks wide.
Wide, yeah.
I remember that very viscerally, because I was convinced that was going in. Jesse Lingard would indeed make up for this in substantial fashion literally in the same bit of the ground about 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later. And then the penalty. So, friend of the show, Cal Gildart, says it's a terrible decision from the ref. I respectfully disagree and believed it to be an utterly nailed-on penalty.
You still believe it's a nailed-on penalty?
Yeah, I'm thinking he gets a nibble at him with the first one, and then he gets a little touch on the ball, but also scissors the back of Barkley's legs. With his trailing leg.
I think he barely gets him with a trailing leg. I mean, it might look like there's some scissors, and that's why the referee gets it, gives it. So I think that's a perfectly good tackle. If you can't do that, football's going to the dogs.
Game's gone.
Socially distanced football. We're playing basketball with a football. No, I think that's perfectly fine. I remember, I'd say, the plurality of people, obviously of United fans, but generally pundits and stuff, thought it was fine at the time. But anyway, Dave with a strong right hand, Lukaku continuing the theme of having an absolutely horrible match. But Murphy in the commentary says he's telegraphed it. I mean, he's right as well. He might as well have pointed, drawn a line with some of that squiggly chalk the refs have to that corner. Because his body shape it can't go anywhere else other than to his left, Dave's right. And Dave gets across with, and it's not in a good position for a keeper per se. It's low. It's a 75%er. Very good save.
I guess it's just the one, apart from like telegraphing it, the one thing is it's not far enough in the corner, is it? It's a little bit too central, but Dave has to do really well to get down to it quickly, and he hardly ever saves penalties, De Gea, so it was good. I remember being very excited. The thing that I remember about this game is, like, I didn't remember, there's about 2 passages of play I remember. One of them, I don't know if we mentioned it or if it's coming up. I think it's coming up. Martial skies one from quite close range. I really remember that because I thought that was going in. I remember Lingard's one, but then I just remember that the penalty miss was at the far end, because the Fellaini goal was at the far end. That was at the far end, which was good because it meant the Martial winner was at the right end. So that was very exciting. But yeah, I remember the sheer relief. But the relief was quite short-lived, because this is the point in the game now. Between that and the own goal, Everton are bang on top.
Yeah, there's a free kick afterwards, which De Gea saves, not difficult save. There's a lot of pressure. T. Cleves has a chance at one stage, doesn't he? Or he gets in a cross for Lukaku.
Yeah.
Which is another good chance.
So Besic is coming in behind Lukaku, but I guess didn't shout because Lukaku jumps and heads over that one.
That's right. They have a little lovers tiff after that one.
Besic just like collapses in a corner crying, going, "Can't you see I'm having a hard enough day already without you having a go at me?" Right. Rashford and Martial combine on the left. Guess what? Martial skins Besic, cuts into the box, finds Fellaini 2 yards out, and some big handball energy from your boy John. It's Jagielka, isn't it?
It's Jagielka, who looks like he's doing a Phil Jones and heading it off the floor, but what he's really doing is punching it out. And VAR would have sorted that one out. Yeah,
100%. Yes, very, very VAR-ish.
Well, it would have been a penalty and a red card. Or no, I guess we have the triple punishment doesn't come into it anymore. It does.
Did it not by 2016?
No, but the triple punishment thing is only when there's a genuine attempt. Right, it's not for things like handball. Yeah, genuine attempt to play the ball, foul, red card, penalty, ban, triple punishment. So yeah, now they remove the red card, but for this, I think it would have got it.
We hope you're enjoying the No Question About That podcast. We are open for sponsorship, so if you run the kind of business that would be interested in sponsoring our show, just drop us an email at nqatpod@gmail.com. There's an absolutely brilliant cross from Big Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku's brilliant crossing abilities on show. Tom Cleverley's about on the penalty spot. Proper swing and a miss from Cleves at that point. But it's a really good ball, and there's a lot of danger building. And if there's danger in the air and you want a United defender to sniff it out and make things worse than they already were, well, if you can't have the number one choice that we would all instantly go to someone to score an own goal to save your life, we'd all go to Phil Jones. If he's not available, try his best mate, Chris Smalling, with an absolute howler.
He's a belter, isn't it? Off the inside of his knee. He tries to clear it with his instep, completely air shots it, and it bounces off his knee. And for one that's hit the knee, the kind of fleshy part there is fairly rifled in, hasn't it, past De Gea? Yeah, comedy own goal. Just horrendous. I mean, it's nice watching the coverage again, because just before that, a couple of minutes before that, they sort of panned to original Ronaldo in the crowd, who at this stage is like 25 stone and clearly suffering from whatever he's suffering from, cheeseburgers and actual disease. But you're like, it's Ronaldo. No, there was a player. Oh, it's Smalling. There's not a player.
Yeah, I mean, it's fairly decent build-up from Everton, but really Smalling's under a lot less pressure than he clearly feels like, and it can happen to anyone, that slip, but it's just kind of calamitous and unfortunate, because he's not had a bad game up to that point, really. Not had a brilliant game either, I have to say.
No, and Deulofeu's substitution he's on like 5 minutes before this has made a difference. He's the man who gets the ball in from the right. He seems to give Everton a bit of a lift. He's very direct. He gives Everton that kind of injection, and he's made a difference with that ball.
And it's interesting because United just can't get and keep the ball at this point, which you'd think would be a thing that this particular United side was very well set up to do. He takes off Fosu-Mensah and brings on Valencia in a sort of like-for-like-ish type sub. Then there's a brilliant save from Dave, like the best save of the game, I'd say, with his left hand from Deulofeu from pretty close range. That is Dave saves.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of several things that Deulofeu did when he came on to sort of give Everton a lift. And it's a bit, ding-dong, isn't it, after that? United going for it, Everton going for it. Classic cup stuff. Definitely doesn't shut down. In fact, United don't do that well at all. Then Ander comes on with a couple of minutes left.
So, let's talk about this, right? I mean, before that, there's been the bit where Martial controlled the ball with a back heel and flicked a back heel from behind him to in front of him, which is always super exciting. In the 86th minute, Ander Herrera, probably United's most sort of dynamic midfield prospect, would have been a very good shout to start the game. But the one thing that you could say about Fellaini is, in the dying embers of a cup tie, wouldn't you want Marouane Fellaini to stay on the pitch for those? He's like, no, now is the time for my skillful midfielder to replace my battering ram in the 86th minute. Quite.
Yes, you'd think it'd be the other way round, right? I mean, if Fellaini is nothing, if he's not, a successful last-minute header at the back post type substitution. So, anyway. Yes, I always feel... And he got such a rough deal from being at United. And there was an awful lot of discussion about this when he left, of course. Not just about the money, but about his value. And was he really that good that we should be sort of wailing about him leaving? And of course, he was always on the edge of that. Yeah, if he was a truly, genuinely world-class player, he wouldn't have had any trouble getting in the side during all his time with United or the Spain side. And that wasn't the truth. He was in and out of the team for most of his time, except for that one time when he played number 6 all season for Mourinho, I guess. But he had a lot more than just an average player, and you can't say United's midfield has been better for him leaving, But anyway, it was nice to see him for a very brief moment.
Yeah, and he makes a huge contribution, of course. I mean, he gets himself booked for a classic and a foul, and then...
It rolls around a bit and it's like going, I'm injured.
Barkley definitely kicked him, though. Definitely kicked him. And Murphy's having a moan. Anyway, let's not...
He's awful, co-commentator. He's just awful.
Yeah, we don't need to dignify him with much more attention. Tony almost saw a scissor kick. No memory of this whatsoever. I must have seen it from close range, really, because that was right down the end where we were. But no, I don't remember that at all. It's kind of blocked, isn't it? But it's pretty
James
good.
McCarthy.
It makes a good contact. And then De Gea nearly messes up a touch in the 90th minute. Lukaku's closing him down and very disappointed that he doesn't win a corner because it comes off him last.
Yeah, I mean, maybe De Gea's in control and he's just he's doing that thing where you knock it against the opponent's legs to... No.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, always a good move in at the 90th minute at 1-1 in a cup tie, isn't it?
And then there's the moment of the game. Not only is it 93 minutes in, seconds left, but it's a lovely build-up to the goal as well. Describe what happens.
It's absolutely brilliant. I remember it being great. It was pleasing that it was as good as I remember. Martial gets the ball right out by the touchline on the left wing, and just like that, the lights are on. There's an injection of urgency, pace, and quality. He knocks in a ball to Herrera at real pace and keeps pace with the ball himself, basically. He kind of bends his run, starts bending his runners immediately, looking for the give and go. Herrera is under pressure, can't quite control the ball, but...
Gets lucky.
It gets a little lucky, but also a lot of quick thinking, because he sees the opportunity to stab the ball forward and takes it really quickly. Martial's control is great, and now he's...
I mean, he still finds the 1-2. He's trying to play the immediate 1-2, bounces off the defender, gets a second chance.
And slides it through, perfect weight. Martial collects it in his stride. Guess what? He opens up his right foot and bends it into the far corner. And a perfect pass finish, and Q, absolute scenes. Like,
bedlam.
I've said this before on the podcast, but because I was never really able to go to football in the 90s or even really the 2000s, I've seen much more post-Fergie football live than I saw Fergie football live, which is the wrong way around to do it. But one thing that I'll always be grateful for is having seen this moment live and been in the stadium. For me, this was I know there's lots of United fans who would have way, way better memories of supporting United and more amazing things happen. But for me, this was the best moment of goonage I was ever a part of. And the fact that it lasted for an hour after the game, like just the concourse, the Martial chant starts about 2 minutes after the goal because there's a lot of just jumping around and shouting. And then it doesn't stop until everyone's on a train or in a car or gone home. Like, my voice has never, ever been more wrecked than it was
Great
after
stuff.
that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the moments you go to football for, isn't it? So big game, means something. They spent a good 10 minutes discussing at the beginning of the game how little United have been to Wembley in the recent years.
Absolutely, yeah.
Off, Danny Murphy.
Oh, yeah. By the way, someone throws Stuart under the bus. I think it's Steve Gibson on the main comms. Throw Stuart Gardner under the bus, saying, like, oh, the Manchester United commentator asked me how to find my way, if he could follow me up to the gantry because he didn't know the way because United had been to Wembley. So we're going to win the flipping FA Cup this season. You shut up.
Yes. I mean, it kind of has a point. In Fergie's late stage Fergie, he deprioritised the FA Cup massively. Just there was the 2004 final, the 2005 final United lost, and then just nothing for years. I mean, obviously the Champions League final was at Wembley, but the FA Cup was very rarely a priority for Fergie. Which you understand, win it, of course, but
we've got to win it for Rio. We've got to win it. We've got to win it for Rio every year. Never won it for Rio, but they did win it for Rooney and Carrick, and you know, there's very fond memories of that, and the lovely touch of Wayne Rooney going up to bringing Michael Carrick to lift the trophy with him in what was the final act of Louis van Gaal's Man United.
Yeah. I don't think we'll do the final as a nostalgia pod.
No.
But that's nice. Unlike Martin Buchan from the last pod who got the cup and sprinted off with it. Screw you guys, I'm happier. Sharing the cup, yeah. I enjoyed that game. It was very
really
good.
Entertaining. And just lovely to relive the memories of so before the game, all the United fans are in this pub called the Green Man by Wembley, and they're all singing outside, and it's rammed, and there's really, really good atmosphere. I think partly generated by the fact that the season wasn't going so well, and like you said, it's been a long time since they've been at Wembley. And like you can still find this on YouTube. Some lad tries to climb on the top of this like outbuilding thing and just falls through the ceiling. And
a classic YouTube moment, that one.
He was all right, but I was about 10 feet away from it when it happened. So when it then subsequently went viral, it was one of the rare football viral things I got to say, like, oh, I was there. And the atmosphere was indeed splendid. Shout out to Tudie, by the way, who I'm pretty sure I bumped into at the Green Man just before when we walked down to Wembley together before that game. Really just a lovely memory and a really fun game to revisit.
Not enough of them in the post-Fergie years. Fun games to revisit, sadly.
No, a decent handful. There's a decent handful among them. And this was definitely one of them. For example, we won the Europa League the season afterwards, but I don't remember a single game in the run to winning the Europa League fondly. As far as I remember,
the Europa League is torture. It's painful. It's awful. I mean, I went to that final, obviously, but that wasn't a great game because Mourinho decided to pull out his Wimbledon from the 1990s playbook and just launch it. So completely ruining ruining it as a game and leading to Ajax moaning about anti-football afterwards. I mean, he got the tactics right, and United won that final, obviously. But this was a nice moment for Louis. He wasn't that gracious after the game in his interviews. I don't know whether you saw that one, moaning about the referee. I was like, you've just won with a 93rd minute winner, and you're going to moan about the referee not giving you the...
I am very disappointed because my substitution worked, and they won the game. Man United won the game, but not by little passes. But anyway, but yeah, this kind of like slow. The idea of Van Gaal ball was not slow. The idea of Van Gaal ball was slow, quick, goal. Like that was the idea, and it just didn't happen often enough. But it did in this game. And yeah, it did leave me thinking what might have been, although ultimately I remain somewhat convinced that what might have been would have been, well, we wouldn't have got the transfer targets we were after in the summer. He'd have kept playing players out of position. He'd have kept getting really married to the wrong player in the wrong position because he liked one thing about what he could do. And, you know, it would have been difficult. But Rashford and Martial would have played a lot together straight away.
Yeah. And this is a reminder of what Martial can be, could be, should be, and why. I mean, many people are frustrated with him because he just doesn't produce it nearly often enough. My frustration with him is he can put performances like this in, which is really spectacular, and he's really dangerous, and he's had a very good season this season, the season we're talking about. And he should have kicked on from there. And there are various reasons why he didn't. 2 years under Mourinho definitely didn't help him. Injuries haven't helped him. Inconsistencies haven't. Unhappiness hasn't. You know, so... and in the season we're just in, he's had some very, very good moments. But injuries have taken away time from him again. And, you know, obviously football is on hold and will be not the same as it was for quite some time, you know, maybe another year. But he will get to play, looks as soon as June the 12th. And let's hope he's able to, without crowds or maybe with CGI crowds for those watching at home, be able to put in some great performances. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's scored 11 in 22 in the Premier League this season, 17 in 36 across club and country this season. He's having a good season this season too, but just that injury stopping it from being a really good season.
Right.
We'll see what's to come, but what's to come here is more of what has been, because although we're looking at real football returning at some point, or some version of football, I guess I should say, rather than real football. We've got a few
about
more.
5 weeks' time, by the looks of it. I mean, by the time we do our Sunday pod, we should have some idea about our Monday pod for you guys. Sunday for us. We should have some idea about what football looks like. But it looks like June the 12th, neutral grounds, and then some other weird stuff. Maybe 5 substitutions, no relegation, social distancing, no spitting, and maybe less than 45 minutes a half. It's not exactly clear, is it?
What is clear is the game that we are going to do next. So we are doing a game that we've kind of talked about doing at some point, at one of the absolute peaks of just United realising exactly how Arsenal were to be defeated. And this is not the 8-2, because there isn't a great deal of merit in watching that game. I don't think there's anything particularly interesting to take out of it. Rather, this is the Champions League semi-final from 2009 against Arsenal. So are we doing the first leg or the second leg, Ed? Do you know?
The second leg at the Emirates. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got to be that one. And this is where, I mean, don't United go there? What is it, 1-1 from the first leg, or United 1-0 up from the first leg? And all the talk before the game at the Emirates is, will United be able to hold out? Will they be able to hold out? They are able to bully Arsenal completely. This is the classic breakaway goal. Darren Fletcher getting an unjust red card.
Oh, no.
To miss the final.
Oh, no. I forgot it was that.
There's so much happens in this game. I haven't seen this since then, I don't think. But super looking forward to it.
Let's revisit it. So we'll be back on Monday with that. And in the meantime, everybody take super good care of yourselves. It's Thursday evening as we record this. So, I'm sure I speak on behalf of both of us when I say our appreciation for the people that are putting themselves in unbelievable harm's way in this situation. Just because they're being used for propaganda by really, really insidious forces doesn't mean that the people themselves aren't doing unbelievable things, and they are. So
that's right. So long weekend, sun's out. Don't be stupid. Stay in, listen to podcasts, watch old football, play some computer games. Stay safe.
Absolutely, and much love to everyone. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye now.
Question with that.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
There's nothing like being in the stands cheering on your favorite team. Game Time is your hack to unlocking amazing tickets in just a few taps. Plus, their Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets at the best price. Fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. Get the best deals on sports tickets. Download the Game Time app and create an account to start searching for tickets to upcoming games and events. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Game Time.